Hi everybody, got another Poppy Cooks video for you. And this time I was challenging somebody at work to make cinnamon rolls. She wanted me to do something creative. All right, so I'm making maple apple cinnamon rolls. That creative enough for you, Trish? All right, let me know. All right. Yeah, Lulu's ready. I know. All right, let's see how they come out. To start, you need half a cup of packed brown sugar, a quarter cup of maple syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla, and just a dash of salt. Then you're gonna mix this all together. Next, you need an apple. You wanna peel it, core it, and then thinly slice it. I highly recommend using a little mandolin. This is a little handheld one I have. Cut them super thin, it's awesome. If you don't have one though, just do it by hand. But like I said, try to get them as thin as possible. Just like this. See, nice super thin slices, almost see-through. All right. Next, you need your puff pastry. Best way to thaw out your puff pastry is to leave it in your fridge overnight. Do not microwave it or it turns into a big pile of mess. So this has been thawed, kept it in the fridge overnight, so now it's perfect. Now I'm gonna brush on a thin layer of unsalted melted butter. All right, you wanna get that all nice and coated. All right, so once you got it all coated, you wanna spread on your brown sugar maple mix. All right, you want to get that all nice and coated all around. Leave a little bit of a border around. Just like that. See how I left a little bit of a border all around? All right, now you're ready for your apples. So now you want to place your very thin sliced apples and cover the entire top. All right, it's going to take a while. Just like that. It's a lot of apples. You can see how nice and thin they are. So now the most important part of a cinnamon roll, the cinnamon. Almost forgot it. So you could add a tablespoon of cinnamon to the brown sugar and maple mix, or you could add it right on top. So I'm gonna do a nice sprinkle all across and get it all nice and coated. So now that you have a nice coating of cinnamon, you wanna roll it. So you start carefully at the bottom. Peel it off the wax paper, and you want to roll the whole thing all the way across. Try to keep it as tight as possible, but if you can't, it'll still taste good. All right, just want to get this whole thing rolled. So once you got it all rolled, you want to tightly wrap it in the puff pastry, and then you're going to freeze it just till it sets. I figure about 45 minutes to an hour. If you try to cut it now, it'll be messy. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes and they've had time to set. So now we're gonna start cutting these up. We're gonna cut these into about 1.5 inch pieces. This would be a nice big size. Keep them as even as possible if you can. I'm using a serrated knife so I could really cut through those apples, even though they were, as you saw, they were so paper thin. You don't really need to, but I didn't want to take any chances. All right, so we're gonna finish cutting these up. Now once they're all done, we're gonna place them on a greased baking sheet. And they're ready for the oven. You can see already how gooey they are. Look at all that cinnamon and brown sugar and maple. I'm spacing them out about 2 inches apart because they are gonna grow. So we're gonna bake these in a preheated 350-degree oven for about, I figure about 20 minutes. If they need longer, I'll let you know. Okay, while they're cooking, we're gonna make the glaze. For the glaze, I started with half a cup of powdered sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I started with a tablespoon of milk. You wanna mix this up until you have a nice consistency. Should be very creamy, but also loose. You don't wanna put too much milk in it because it may get too thick. Like this is looking actually pretty good, but I'm still a little tight, so I'm probably gonna add another teaspoon of milk because you don't want to go too crazy because or else you're just gonna have water and it's just gonna seep through the buns. So I'm adding another teaspoon. Let's see how this comes out. All right, this looks perfect. So, all right, so the recipe for this, half teaspoon of vanilla, half cup of powdered sugar, and 4 teaspoons of milk. And you got your glaze. Okay, so full disclosure, These did not come out anywhere near how I wanted them to. I definitely cut them too thick because you can see then they start to open up. I probably should have cut them to about a 1/2 inch. Then they would have cooked a little bit faster. They also seem a little crunchy and dry because I actually had to cook them for about a 1/2 hour because they still weren't done. Well, we're still going to give them a try. So let's put a little bit of glaze on them and see if this glaze can save them. All right, so we're going to finish glazing these up. All right, so now they're glazed. They look much better now with the glaze, but let's give them a try. As I expected, very, very crunchy, but you know what? They're fantastic. Really get the brown sugar. You get the maple. I don't think I had a piece with an apple, so I guess I need another bite. Okay, there's the apple. Okay, you know what? Not too bad. I'll definitely make these again, but like I said, you want to roll them tighter and definitely cut them to only maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Don't cook them as big as I did. But if you make them, let me know. Enjoy. Should I have another one? No, I can't have any more. They're all for you. All right, fine. Let me get you a plate. Sheesh, because I have to make more.